Imagine that in a few minutes you have to stand in front of a group of people. Perhaps you need to introduce yourself at a workshop. Maybe you're about to give an important presentation. Or perhaps it's simply a conversation with someone who matters to you. Nothing has happened yet. You are sitting safely in your chair. And yet, your heart starts racing, your stomach tightens, and your mind begins creating dozens of possible scenarios. What is fascinating is that the human mind can generate very real emotions from situations that exist only in our imagination. The body reacts as if the danger were real, even though the event has not begun. We sweat, worry, rehearse conversations, and prepare ourselves for outcomes that may never happen. This is where one of the most powerful principles of faster EFT becomes visible. Often, we are not suffering because of the situation itself. We are suffering because of what we imagine about the situation. The mind is more powerful than we realize. Memories, expectations, and mental images have tremendous influence over how we feel. Think about a painful memory from your past. Within seconds, your emotions can change. Your body may react as though the event is happening all over again. The same mechanism works when we think about the future. We create images of failure, rejection, embarrassment, or disappointment. We imagine what could go wrong. Then our body responds to those images as if they were reality. Suddenly, you are no longer sitting safely in a room. You are inside a movie your mind has created. And that movie can feel so convincing that you forget it is only a projection. Many people believe the problem is the upcoming event itself. In reality, they are often reacting to their internal representation of what might happen. A story many people can relate to. One member of the faster EFT community shared how difficult it was for him to introduce himself in front of a group of people. The challenge was not the group itself. The challenge was everything happening inside his mind beforehand. He imagined making mistakes. He imagined being judged. He imagined saying the wrong thing and feeling embarrassed. These mental rehearsals began long before he ever spoke a word. As he started working with the emotions and meanings attached to those images, he discovered something surprising. The actual situation was far less intimidating than the stories he had been telling himself about it. What seemed like a fear of speaking was often a fear of imagined outcomes. The future is often the past in disguise. When people worry about the future, they are frequently reacting to old experiences. Perhaps they were criticized in the past. Perhaps they felt rejected, embarrassed, or misunderstood. The mind stores these experiences and attempts to protect us from repeating them. To do this, it creates warning signals. It imagines risks. It scans for possible threats. It tries to predict everything that could go wrong. The problem is that the mind cannot truly predict the future. It can only combine old experiences and project them forward. That is why so many fears never actually come true. They are built from old memories rather than present reality. What if you looked at fear differently? Well, instead of asking, how do I get rid of this feeling? It can be helpful to ask a different question. What am I imagining right now? What picture is playing in my mind? What story am I telling myself? Often, you will discover that the emotion is connected not to reality, but to an internal movie about reality. And once you notice that distinction, something begins to change. This does not mean fear disappears instantly. It does not mean you must suddenly feel confident. It simply means you start seeing the mechanism that creates your experience. Freedom begins on the inside. One of the most valuable lessons Faster EFT teaches is that our experience of life is shaped not only by events but also by the meanings, images, and stories we attach to those events. When the story changes, the feeling often changes. When the meaning changes, the reaction begins to change. And when our internal representations shift, situations that once seemed overwhelming may lose much of their emotional power. Perhaps the future is not as frightening as it appears. Perhaps what frightens us most is the movie playing inside our mind. And that is good news. Because movies can be edited, Stories can be rewritten, and new possibilities can always be created. If you would like to explore emotional healing, personal growth, and the principles of faster EFT more deeply, you can find additional resources and ebooks that may support your journey. Enter my store.